All right, so week 7's in the books. I'm here in Berlin, and I've gotten part of my mission finished. I got the European bank account squared away. It was a bit of a pain in the ass to try to get it all done. I had to get a phone number here first, go through all the verification and everything, and then the banking, which also had its own verifications. And I wanted to try and see if I could play poker, but it turns out that Germany's poker ecosystem is fenced in, meaning you have to have a .de poker account to play here. It's not just on the regular Winamax or anything like that. So I'm only here for a week. I would have to go through all the hoops of address verification, all this kind of stuff, just to play here for a week, so it didn't make any sense. One thing that's kind of frustrating is that it's unclear as to whether I'm going to be able to play on Winamax from Canada. ChatGPT can't find anything about which countries are allowed to play on there, although I know for sure France, I know for sure Germany, and I know for sure Spain, and I think Portugal, because they all have, .fr, .sp, and so on, Winamax sites. However, I was able to sign up with a Canadian address, and when I emailed Winamax to try and clarify, they simply said, if it's allowed in your country, then you should be able to. And Canada's a weird one because it's in this gray area where if the site you're playing on is regulated, then Canada just says okay. They don't really have there's really no restrictions, but there's also nothing specifically saying I can play on there, so I won't even be able to find out if I can play on Winamax until I get back to Canada in a few more days. And if I can't, I think that means January 1st, I'm gonna either move to France or Spain and just be able to play there for sure. Because I don't think poker can work without Winamax for me. And I'm feeling very priced out of Canada these days. So this phone, to get a German phone for the month with a pay-as-you-go plan, costs less than roaming for 2 days on my current Canadian plan. Like, that's crazy. It's $30 Canadian for 1 month of a German phone. That's getting a phone number and getting your SIM card and everything. $30. Roaming is $18 a day. So, you're gonna pay triple the amount to use 1 week. It's just bad. Canadian cell phones are just overpriced, but a lot of Canada, rents and all these other things have become overpriced as well. So there's a good chance that I actually finish this whole journey playing outside of Canada, in places where I can keep my overall costs lower. About Berlin, it's actually a really cool city. There's a lot of things that stand out. People here bike way more. Nobody wears a helmet. In Canada, almost 100% of bikers wear helmets. Here, it's maybe 5%. You can smoke everywhere here, which I really don't like. You can smoke on patios, you can smoke around the train stations and stuff, things that you just never see in Canada anymore, which that part is definitely better. And the coffee shops, nobody has coffee cream. I've asked at like 4 or 5 places. One guy just flat out said, I don't even know what that is. So I've been just getting cortados instead, which are amazing. The coffee scene here is good. I've had mostly good coffees at the places I've gone to. Maybe not as good as some of the better ones in Canada. I think it's probably surprising how good some of the coffee has been in like Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver. They're up there probably with everywhere else in terms of the best places that you can find. I found those places to be better than Seattle, for example. I would say I'm basically gonna wait until I get back to Canada in a few more days, see if I can get some money on Winamax and see if I can play there. If I can't, I'm gonna basically start looking into apartments higher than somewhere like France or Marseille. French obviously is the second language that I'm most comfortable with. I know the most. It's Spanish is going to be a steeper learning curve, especially because I'm learning Latin American Spanish and not Spain Spanish, but that's fine. My baseball channel is going really well. I've got 300 and something subscribers. It's almost a third of the way there. My last video is doing really well. It's got like 4,000 or 5,000 views as of this recording. And it's nice to see it taking these small little steps toward monetization, because as soon as I can start making money in ways outside of poker, I'm not restricted to where I can play. For example, I wanted to go to Colombia to check out coffee, check out Medellin and Bogota, all these cool cities, but online poker is not allowed there. So that's a trip that I'm going to push off until I can do full-time YouTube. And then I can just make videos there and stay there for a month or more. And it makes places like Spain and France and England and Brazil more desirable because I have more poker options as well. So far, so good. We've got the European bank account, which we needed anyways. And there was really no snags there whatsoever, which is nice. And I have the money in that account, just waiting to put on Winamax when I return to Canada. And I'm hoping that I can play on there from Canada, because that gives me the most options. But Europe's cool. If I end up coming to Spain, I'm gonna go and check out all the other places like France and Switzerland, and maybe it's gonna make more sense to try out for some pro ball in Switzerland. I don't know if I've mentioned that yet, but there's a Swiss baseball league that's supposedly not crazy competitive, where the guys throw like 80 miles an hour. I've definitely faced guys that throw that hard in Canada, so I'm gonna maybe try out for one of those leagues. Not with the expectation of making it, but it would be really cool if I was able to even just make it as like a bench player. And it's in Switzerland, which every time I see videos of it, it's just a postcard. It's gorgeous. So going there and getting to play a little baseball is win-win. Anyways, that's all I got for this week. Stay tuned for next week to see if I actually can play on Winamax in Canada and keep the poker dream alive.